Hi. Okay, this is a video that I was desperate for when my little boy was born, and I googled and there was nothing out there. My little boy did not sleep and it was chronic. I mean, to the point where I started googling, can I die if I don't sleep? It was that bad. I mean, it was a nightmare. And I mean, every time you go online and you look, like, is it a thing just with boys? Do boys not sleep? Do little girls sleep? He was breastfed, maybe he should be on formula. Will this noise machine work? You know, like, there's so many things that I looked at, and I mean, sleep courses that I paid for, you know, signed up for, and the amount of things that I would buy at 2 in the morning. I bought a new cot that elevated a little because I thought that would help, and I thought maybe he has reflux and that's why he's not sleeping. I bought every different snood and snuggle and baby grow that I could find. I bought white noise machines and that little owl that makes a noise, and I did everything and it did not work. It was hard. It was really desperately hard, and it's the lowest I've ever felt in my life. He was born the week of the lockdown in the UK with COVID as well, so that really didn't help, and it was a really tough year, as it would have been for a lot of people. But that on top of a child who really doesn't sleep, and I'm talking like didn't nap, nothing, it was horrific. So bad to the point that I called the crisis hotline, which is, they have one set up in the UK. I don't know if they have them abroad, but it's these really lovely ladies who you call when you're literally like, I am desperate, I'm struggling, I'm a mum, and this is just so bad. And again, they gave me some advice and it didn't work, but it was just nice to talk to someone. So this is why I am a year and a half on from my child who doesn't sleep, and I thought I would have loved if another mum had just put this content out there so I knew I wasn't going insane. Because the funny thing is, we do search for someone else just to say, hey, I went through this too, like exactly the same. There's nothing wrong with you and there's nothing wrong with your child. So I just really wanted to put this up to help anyone else who is literally in this situation right now. And I'm telling you, I'm a year and a half on and I'm still here, and he sleeps at night. He doesn't sleep in the day. He is not a napper. He might nap in the car. He might nap on me if he's had a big tantrum and then has just worn himself out and then falls asleep on me. Or on the odd time, if he's a bit unwell or something and he's warm enough, then he might fall asleep on me. But he probably is the world's worst sleeper, but he does now sleep through the night. And I'll be honest, I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything different. He just had to get there on his own, and he had to grow up and he had to develop. So, I mean, please comment below if you've got any questions, and I'm happy to do more videos and kind of share the entire journey, like over a course of a few videos if it helps. But I just want to put this up because if anyone right now has a little baby or a newborn who like just seems to be awake all the time and nurses all the time, and just the minute you put them down in their cot or bassinet, they wake up, even though they might be in the deepest sleep, they wake up, and it doesn't matter what you do, and you just have to be holding them. They have to be on you for them to sleep. Then I get it, and I've been there. Things changed for me, and this can be still a bit of a hot topic depending where you live. The UK, a little bit relaxed, depending. I mean, talk to medical staff, midwives, they don't recommend it still. But my little boy was 5 months, and I realised he would fall asleep on my bed. So we started co-sleeping. And the more mums and dads I talk to, a lot of people co-sleep. That was the only thing that has got us through, and he still co-sleeps with me now. As much as I'd love to move him into his own bed, it's not going to happen anytime soon. So co-sleeping made a big difference, but when he was 5 months, and because we didn't have a floor bed and I didn't really have the space to put a floor bed, like I couldn't get rid of my normal bed, he would go to bed at 6, I'd lay next to him, and then I would just have to spend my entire evening and night in the bed with him. I couldn't go anywhere, do anything. It was really frustrating. The things you want to get done in the evening. I run my own business. That had to just go on the back burner. I couldn't work in the evening like I thought I was going to do, because I was stuck sitting in the bed like watching something on my little Kindle or phone, and I struggled. Like, it was so hard. It sounds so melodramatic when I look back, but you're desperate for nighttime and for them to go to bed and for you to just kind of get stuff done, tidy, unwind, anything. You've had a little baby stuck to you for the entire day, and you just want a little bit of respite so you can just get in the right state of mind, and you're now stuck in a dark room while everybody else is like having their evening and watching films together or whatever, or you have stuff you actually need to do or a job and you can't do it, and it's really hard. It's really hard. But he did eventually sleep. Like, he did. That's all I can say. It's like, people will tell you horror stories like, oh, this kid was 3, this kid was 4, until they slept through the night. My little boy it was just before he was 2 that he started sleeping. So I think that, like, at some point, I can't remember when, maybe after a year, I could put him in the bed and then kind of sneak away. I would just have to keep coming up, and we had like a little bolster and stuff to make sure obviously he didn't roll over and we could see him. But generally, by about 1, I kind of had a little bit of an evening. I think it was a bit hit or miss. Sometimes I feel like I did still stay in the bed with him. So that was that. And he would have breastfed until probably up until now, and he's coming up to 3. I was so over it that I kind of had to forcefully wean him off, in the sense that I think I can't remember, like he started going to nursery, which really helped. So he did go to preschool nursery like for a couple of days, and that was the first time that then he would have to go a long period of time without nursing. So that started weaning him off. And then eventually, I mean, he would never take a bottle, and then when he was like, I think 1.5, yeah, 1.5, then he discovered a bottle and a bottle of milk, and oh wow, there's like so much more milk in here and it's a lot quicker than mummy. So that was really beneficial. Like, eventually I just got him onto like normal bottles. I didn't use follow on, nothing. It was just normal cow's milk. He started drinking that. Then at night, when he would try and nurse, I actually started to like kind of be like, no darling, and then, you want a bottle, do you want a bot? And eventually, like, because I was like, I can't do this anymore, he would ask for a bottle. And actually I did milk, and then a few times I'd just do warm water, and that was fine. It worked. He was so like half asleep that he didn't notice. It was just the comfort of going back to sleep. And then it was like really funny. I stayed over with my dad, and it was the first night he slept through. He just slept. He didn't wake up and ask for a bottle. Didn't do anything different. He just slept. So, and that was like in the December, so it was 3 months before he turned 2 years old. And then that was it. And now and again, even now, he has a bottle to go to sleep. I give him a bottle of milk to fall asleep, and then on the odd occasion he might wake up in the night and ask for a bottle of milk, or otherwise he'll just sleep through. But again, he doesn't nap, like very rarely naps, and if he doesn't have a nap all day, then we can kind of get him in bed by about 6:30. So it does change like drastically. It really does change. My little boy is very much like, likes to be on your skin, likes to hold you, likes to have his, feet like in your pajama bottoms and his hands in your top, and just literally be like skin on skin, like a kangaroo as much as possible. He's incredibly energetic, like has insane amount of energy, and very opinionated like most toddlers. And he was very fussy. Like, he didn't like having a blanket on him, he didn't like socks, he didn't like anything touching him, and was like an incredibly light sleeper. Like, if you brushed him the tiniest bit, like smidgen, or touched a hair on his head, he was like awake. So you could never, like, if he fell asleep, you couldn't move him from the car, you couldn't do any of that. So that's just to give you an idea of his temperament. And that's the same thing. So if your little boy or girl is like that too, then they're probably very similar. And nothing worked. Like, sleep training was just horrible because he would just scream himself silly for hours if I'd let him. I think maybe the longest was 40 minutes. I couldn't bear anymore. He would scream. There was no way he was going to go to sleep by leaving him on his own and checking everything's fine, okay, I'm gonna leave. Like, no, it didn't work. He knew what he wanted. He wanted to be with mum. That was it. I mean, to one point that he actually managed to get himself out of the cot. And I mean, it was a big cot, but he was that determined. He climbed. He was like, I'm climbing out, and he just kept going until he could flip himself out. So, you know, it's when you really, like, every child, when you just know their personality is just like, no way, I'm not a sleeper, I'm not ready to be a sleeper, and I'm not going to do it, and you've tried every resource, then it's just about finding ways to kind of just survive. I didn't do it very well. Like, I don't think I found any ways to survive because I was constantly freaking out, thinking my child's never gonna sleep and he's broken, like something's wrong, he's broken. And I googled all the things. I was like, does he have ADHD, does he have this, like, you know, and then you hear there's horrible things when you Google that'll say this is wrong or that's wrong, or it's this long-term health condition. And it was none of that, because again, like I say, being on the other side, he just started sleeping. I didn't do anything. I did nothing. He just started sleeping. He just grew out of it, grew up. Now he'll ask for a blanket. Now he can communicate. He's really chatty, so he can tell me what he wants. And, like, I don't fight it. Like, now that I'm not fighting and reading all these, like, sleep programs where I'm like, you should have napped at this time, and if you nap at that time, and if you eat this and eat at that time, because it didn't work. Now it's just like, oh, I'm on the other side. So I just really wanted to put this video up for just anyone right now who's desperately struggling and doesn't see, you know, a light at the end of the tunnel, because there really is. They will change, they will grow up, and it's just try and be patient and be really patient with yourself. That's the most important thing. It's just be good to yourself, and it is just a phase. It will not go on forever. It feels like it will go on forever, but I promise you it won't. And it literally will be overnight that they'll just do something and you'll go, wow, okay, that phase is over, and you'll be very grateful about it. So yeah, I just really hope that helps anyone, even if it's just one person right now out there. I really hope it helps, because I wish someone else, I'd met someone else who had the same problem that I did and could have told me that. So yeah, anyway, I probably will put up more content. There were a lot of things that helped me with my little boy, and products I thought were really awesome. So as and when I think of stuff, I'll put that up too. But yeah, anyone who's here, just good luck with everything, and I'm wishing you the best. And you're doing great. You are doing great. Like, you're here, and the fact that you're looking up a solution means that you care. You're doing your best, and you know, just keep at it.